Swavey family, welcome to episode 16 of our Swavey Podcast. My name is Marlena.
I'm Jeezz.
And today we have Elisha and Elijah Hill. So we are going to be talking to them. I know in episode 15, we spoke about this upcoming podcast and what we have going on. So we're going to be speaking to them about everything entrepreneurship, all their businesses and what they have going on. And they're going to give us an inside look at some of the challenges they faced, what made them go into entrepreneurship, and what direction they're headed. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about a couple events we have going on this month. We have one next month as well. So we have a lot going on. So you guys want to stay tuned for this.
Let's go.
Okay, so we obviously met through Mallory and Marissa and their crazy selves. Back at Slippery Rock. So I know you guys were business majors. Management, correct? Or marketing? Okay. Yep. So what was it that made you guys get into entrepreneurship? I mean, you guys have Levels Agency, you have Tees Carpet Cleaning, and now you have Hill and Company events. So what made you, I know Levels Company was the first one, and I think that's, you guys even started that when you were still in school. Yeah. So like, what made you like start that? What was the idea behind it? Whose idea was it? Like, how it all came about?
I mean, we were just up at Slippery Rock University, and we was just bored, honestly. When we first got there, when we first got there, our freshman, it was cracking. Like, so that was our first time really experiencing like the partying and drinking and everything. Because before then, we was hoopers. So we had originally went up to Slippery Rock to hoop on the basketball team, but then that didn't work out. So we just kind of left the team. Maybe like a month in, 2 months into being up there. And then we just started experiencing the party life. And we was like, oh, it's lit, you know what I mean? So
freshman year, right?
Freshman year. So it was just lit. And then sophomore year, it just kind of like dried out a little bit. So we was like, we got to do something, man. We got to find a way to make it cracking, you know what I mean? Liven it up a little bit. So we just went through our first party from there. And we did a block party up the Abbey, actually. We did a block party. Well, not a block party, but we did a party inside that clubhouse, and it was crazy. You know what I mean? It was only charging $1 and $2, but we made
them dollar parties.
But we made a couple thousand off a dollar party, and then after that, we were just like, let's turn this into a business. You know what I mean? Like so. From there, it was we just went with it.
Yeah, just hungry for knowledge. We didn't know anything when we first jumped into it, so we pretty much taught ourselves. And we had a professor who was a part-time attorney as well, so he kind of gave us a lot of game and knowledge outside of the classroom. Different things to look for and whatnot. So
was he the business law?
Yep.
What was his name?
I forgot his name.
No, I had him. I think if you had majored in business, you had to take him.
He was good.
He was hard.
He was hard. He was hard.
Yeah.
But that's probably like the only class I really learned anything that pertained to business from him. You know what I mean? He was like the best one.
So that's basically kind of like where you guys jumped off with the entrepreneur.
That's where we jumped off. You know what I mean? First, we just on the computer in our dorm room researching. You know what I mean? Like, all right. So after that, we was like, well, what do we want to call ourselves? You know what I mean? And then we was playing Big Mill Levels. We were like, it's levels to this, levels to this. So I was just on the computer and we was in the dorm room and I was just like, Levels Promotions. And he was like, no, we can't just be promotions. We got to be a full thing. And then I was just like, Levels Agency. And then he was like, yeah, that's it. And then from there, boom, it was Levels Agency.
So you guys did it the smart way by keeping your heads down in school and just like focusing on the afterwards, because like most people
worry about turning up the whole force.
I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Especially with the people I was around and stuff like that. Like that was what we were doing. Like, what are we doing Friday night? What are we doing Saturday night? But so Levels Agency, and then it was just deciding on how to capitalize off of that and like what direction you guys wanted to go in.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. We at the beginning of it, we really didn't have like a vision or a direction where we wanted to go. We was just going with the flow and things like that.
Well, you knew that it worked.
Yeah,
you had that one party and saw
the recipe. You know what I
mean?
mean?
So we just like, let's just replicate it. You know what I mean? Let's replicate it. So we had to learn the business side of it first. I mean, and you still like, even throughout your entrepreneurial journey, you still learn, you make mistakes, you still learn every piece of business out of it.
Yeah.
But at that time, we were still just learning the foundation, but we did all the knowledge, all the hard work ourselves. We got our LLC back in like 2014. Before like the entrepreneur stuff was popping, we was like heads down into it. You know what I mean? So
I feel like COVID really like opened the doors for entrepreneurship.
Sure did.
Because people weren't working, and then you had to like, okay, well, the government's giving you this, but like, you know, unemployment's this, so like you had to come up with.
You had nothing to do.
Right.
Yeah, you're just sitting in the
That's
house.
when we jumped off, like,
ideas, right?
so
what is there to do, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, make some extra income, whatever it is.
'Cause I was kind of like rambling with Swavey for like a couple of years, you know. Like I always had the idea, always had the name, always knew where we wanted to take it.
Right.
You know, then when I met Marlena, you know, and she was definitely with the more business side, and I was more like, you know, just jumping out front.
Yeah,
you know, and then when COVID happened, we just like, we gotta jump in. Like
Yeah,
right now,
got
just
to.
like even with like the podcasts, you know, like if we just don't jump in, we just gonna
Right.
6-7
I
months
feel
later,
like
it's like an idea.
pod-
still.
podcasts
Yeah.
really like within the past year they've really taken off.
Taking
Definitely,
off,
for sure.
man.
Yeah, because
All
now
of it.
everything's, you know, everyone's online. You know, social media is so active now than what it used to be when we were in school and stuff like that. So now it's people are monetizing, you know, their social media.
Right.
Yeah.
That's another thing that helped us too. You know, when we first started, Instagram had just came out. You know, IG literally just had came out. I had a little Instagram profile and we was just, you know, blowing up off of there, meeting all the artists. So from there, we started bringing artists to the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just
You
meeting
guys
with
had
them.
the all white party.
Yep,
Yeah,
all
They were, those
white.
were, I remember that. It was
That's
in
dope.
Newcastle or Butler.
Yeah, it was
Newcastle.
in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yep, they gave us our first opportunity.
Newcastle.
Yep.
It's crazy because that's the only place you gave us opportunity. So like we couldn't throw a party in Pittsburgh. We had to go an hour out of the city to to find our opportunity. So we made it.
You gotta do
work.
what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah.
And they were popping.
Oh,
I
it
feel
was-
like,
it was
they were-
crazy.
It was
I
crazy.
miss them. I talk about them all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you living in the past, but it was like probably like some of the best time. People still talk about it to this day. Like when y'all doing another one, we're like, we kind of like a little past that now.
Yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
want to do
Bigger
it. We
and
could do
better.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you wanted something that's less of a headache too.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of liability too.
Yeah,
It's too
for
much
sure.
liability in that. Like so, it's so much. It's fun. It's nice. You get to see the artists make some good money, decent money. But at the end of it, you're just completely drained.
Yeah.
So who are all the artists that you guys have had?
We started with
Dirt.
Lil Durk. Then
You
we
guys have
brought-
Lil Durk out here?
Yeah, we brought him when before
We was the
he
first.
blew up. Yeah.
One of the first. We was the first people to bring Dirk.
Yeah, I think
actually,
we were,
we was the
yeah.
first people to bring Dirk to.
So if
to
you guys don't
Pittsburgh.
mind me asking, how much was it to bring Dirk down here?
He was only
at
at that time. He was only 15,000.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Now he's over.
He brought, and that probably brought in the money right there.
Yeah,
bro,
I
heck
kicked
yeah.
everything off.
That kicked
Yeah.
everything off for
Because
us.
like I think Lemonade when they started, I think his first artist was like Lil Uzi, and then after that, it was
Oh yeah, that's
boom.
good.
Yeah,
though.
right,
Lil
yeah.
Uzi's good though. That's a
Yeah,
good first
That's
one.
the one you want.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, you guys had Dirk out here. That's smart.
Yeah.
We
it
had
was
Dirk. We had Boozy. We had Tammy Rivera.
I remember
The
that.
Twerk Team.
Shaq Lizzy,
Shaq Lizzy. Gucci Man. Young Thug.
PNB Rock.
PNB
Young Thug was
Rock.
here?
Yeah, we brought
You
him.
brought
You
Young
gotta
Thug
get
to
him
the
in
summer
prime, like when
He got it when he
Yeah,
was in
yeah.
prime.
Oh, yeah.
try to get him now. It's like
Yeah.
$100,000-$250,000.
Yep.
Nowadays.
Who else did we have?
Hardo, he performed.
Yeah, Hardo. Homie. Who else was
Trying to
there?
think,
A couple people.
Yeah.
So you
It's
guys
a lot
basically
more.
you had who like the people that are popping now.
We had the who's who, like the who's
Back
who's now.
then,
We had them
yeah.
back then, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, the game's completely different now.
Yeah,
like
it's
all these
different.
people, even when they come into the game, like when they was first coming into the game, they might have only wanted 10, 15. So there was room for profit in our city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they come off the porch, and as soon as you get a hit, they're
Yeah,
like, I need
30.
30, 40, and it's like you really don't got no room for
A lot of
too
people
much
are coming to
profit.
the city right now. Like they always have been, but I've been seeing like Pittsburgh's bringing a lot of artists here.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
So from Levels Agency, now you guys added, I think the past year, maybe two, T's carpet cleaning. So like, what made you go? Because they're two different spectrums.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So what made you?
So that's
go
another
there?
that's another part of the business angle
Right.
too that we was taking. We was just like, all right, we're about to graduate. We're not gonna be throwing parties forever. You know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
goal was always for us to have something like this, like of our own,
Mhm.
where we could do our own events in, or people could, come
Rent
in
out.
and rent out and do their
Mhm.
events.
Right.
Less liability that way, higher chance of reward.
Mhm.
But when we started with the T's carpet cleaning at that time, we didn't have this venue right here. We didn't, Helen Company Events
Right.
wasn't thought of. So we was like, we need to have a business. Going out is a luxury. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
luxury. You go out when
Has
you
to
have
be,
additional
yeah.
money to go out. You know what I mean? But if you live in, paycheck to paycheck and you're trying to make ends meet, it's like going out. It's like, all right, well, I can't go out this week, but I might go out next week. You know what I mean? But we need to capitalize all the time. So then we got into the cleaning business. We're like, all right, well, people always need stuff to be clean. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
people, they're lazy. You know what I mean? Like people are tired. They don't
There
want to
are
do it. They don't
people
got time.
like- yeah.
You know what I mean? But they always want to get whatever it is clean. So that's when we hopped into that lane. And our dad actually started that business in Cleveland. in 2002. Yep. So we just like, let's go up there and train with him. So we went up there and trained with him for like 2 weeks, and then we just brought that.
So you guys kind of like, went from the basically setting up the party events, and then you guys were like kind of like close that down and went into the cleaning business.
Yeah, for the most part, because like the concerts, those was like one-offs. Like we only planned our concerts every 3 months or every 4 months. Mm-hmm. So like cleaning carpets, it made sense because people need their carpets cleaned like all the time, even the hardwood floors.
Is that something that's franchised? So like if your dad owns it, is it franchised now in here and you guys own the franchise, or?
Yeah, we didn't necessarily franchise it for him, but we are open to franchise opportunities.
Right. Oh, okay, nice. That makes sense.
So we got into carpet cleaning and we expanded it to, hardwood floor cleaning that we do now. Disinfected, house cleaning, furniture and upholstery, vehicle detailing. There's a lot of different angles with that too.
Yeah, cleaning too.
So you guys, just because I'm curious, what were you guys doing after college? I'm sure you guys was probably working a job. Yeah. What were you guys kind of doing before? And how long? What were you guys doing before? And how long until you were profitable to not be working at 9 to 5 anymore?
We was. Well, go ahead, bro. I was gonna say we was in between 9 to 5. So like always. Me and him, we really only kept 9 to 5s for like 30 days.
Yeah.
3. You know what I mean?
3 months at the most.
Yeah, the max was 3 months because we just can't, because we always had an entrepreneur angle. We was always making money that way. Right. But instead of just living off the entrepreneur money, we would go get a 9 to 5 just to pay our bills and keep that money in our pocket. You know what I mean? So, we had little petty jobs but none of them that we really stayed at too long past the necessary training you need to do to learn a job. And then by the time we got into the field, it was like, all right, we quit. You know what I mean? So after college, we was just doing concerts and we was living off of that for, every 3 months. We just living off that for a while.
So I feel like you got the entrepreneur mindset. Like, even myself, like I just suck at working 9 to 5s, yo. Like I just never liked it. I just did so many. Like I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been like a go-getter. Where I work for a company and I just because I'm always thinking about like, it's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right, bro. And that's exactly where we was too.
Yeah, definitely. We only picked up our jobs like during the winter time, like when it was slow season for concerts, nobody's going out. Carpets are slow around that time, nobody's getting their carpets cleaned, things like that. So that's primarily when we picked up our jobs.
Yeah, I feel like that's where him and I differ because I didn't grow up in that mindset. Like I didn't have that. Like it was, dad was a trooper, mom was working at the hospital. Like, okay, you're gonna go. I didn't even pick my major in college. Like that was, what was suggested. Yeah, that was what was suggested to me. Like, oh no, get into business because that'll be beneficial for you in the end. Which he was right. It definitely is. But yeah, it's just that was never like for me. It was okay, 9 to 5, work my way up, and deal with that. And then I met him, and it's like okay, like I can have my own business. I knew I wanted to have my own something. I just didn't know what that something was. Like I knew I didn't want to work for anybody. It's not my personality. I don't like being told what to do. I'm more bossy, like trying to do that whole aspect. So
super bossy.
I mean, things get done. So
hey, as long as they get done,
right? Things get done.
That's how it was though. Like I feel like back, like especially when we was going to school, like the entrepreneur, it wasn't in. You know what I mean? Like even our parents, because unless like like your dad or somebody who came from an entrepreneur background could really push you to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
School
you pitched it, school didn't teach you, and then your parents, they like even our parents, not our dad because he was one too, but our mom, she wasn't all the way with it at first. She was like, I need to go get a job. We like, we ain't getting no job. Like, you making ends meet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making some good ass money. You know what I mean?
You guys had the vision. It was just making sure everyone else was able to see that.
Like, what I realized, especially because this new generation is kind of like was changing everything. A lot of things have changed with this new generation. Entrepreneurs, everybody's becoming entrepreneurs. Right. But like, ever since like elementary school, middle school, high school, college, it's always taught you to work a 9 to 5. Right. You wake up 8 o'clock, you're going to school until like 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah. It was always taught. It wasn't taught you. And then once you get out and you have these expectations that you're making so and so money, and then you owe all this money back.
The jobs nowadays, you don't even need a college degree.
You're still working paycheck to paycheck.
They just ask you if you have a high school diploma.
Bro, how many jobs you apply to and they was like, let me see your degree?
None. You gotta know, and if you don't have any experience, and what I realized, I say this to a lot of my friends all the time, is that it's like, maybe you guarantee $40,000, $50,000 a year. That's nothing. When you think about expenses as far as utilities, rent,
whole
your car.
max. Yeah.
You gotta live. That's for like $5,000 really.
And then, if you have a family,
Right.
then you got to do that,
Right.
so, and what's funny, so my dad was a trooper for 20 years and then he retired. And then right when he was retiring is when he created his nonprofit. So that happened when I was a freshman in college. So he's been doing that ever since.
Yeah, wow, no.
And so now he's on that entrepreneur. Before it was like, okay, first, second, or third shift, out on the highways or, whatever the case was. And now it's all the entrepreneur, ship business and, this and that. So, seeing, it was definitely like a switch. Like even graduating, I'm like, okay, what job am I going to get?
Right.
I lived in Erie the summer after I graduated, and then I moved to Pittsburgh after that. And I had a job as a delivering mail out in freaking our home office was Mount Oliver. So you had Mount Oliver, the South Side, and Mount Washington. I hated it. Only job I've ever had that I've absolutely hated it. And of course, I started in September. So I had the whole winter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Killing you.
Yeah. I'm all up in Mount Oliver, up in these hills, and Mount Washington up in these hills, and I'm like, no, this ain't for me.
Truck might get stuck.
Yeah. Oh no, it did.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. They had to tow it out a couple times. Yeah.
And
It
they
just wasn't
you gotta
for
come
me.
back, and you still gotta get the mail delivered too.
Exactly.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And it was just so. Yeah. I mean, Marissa's mom helped me get that because she's the postmaster and stuff. So, I mean, I was grateful, but I just knew that like that wasn't it. And then I was always doing retail. Customer service is easy. I think it is.
All right.
I've never had a problem with customer service. Customers, they're mad happy. It never bothered me.
Right.
Some people can't handle that type of, conflict and confrontation and stuff. So when he presented Swavey to me, it was like, okay, it makes sense. Like I'm not the marketing and like being in front of people. That's his aspect, but I know the business side. We already have a business plan written. I know how to, do the computer and like look at distributors and things like that. So it was like, okay,
I couldn't do all that.
Hey, that's a good team though. We're like, you gotta have, each person's good at the different aspect of the business.
Yeah, and what's nice is that, if like when he puts more of his focus on his music, I know I got to pick up the slack a little bit by posting more on social media or, putting more coupons out there for, drawing people in and stuff like that.
That's what we kind of like was pushing. I always knew that, like, because there's a lot of brands, that are starting up. You always got to have like, obviously your niche, but I knew that if I took the brand and I moved it through music and through the culture, like it would pop more. Yeah, definitely. Like more publicity. So like for that first year, I was just pushing it through everybody's music videos. Anybody who was shooting a video in Pittsburgh, I was coming to drop off hats.
Yeah, we were either having, Swavey hoodies in the videos or hats. And then when COVID happened is really when like we used that money from the government, launched the website, got the product, got the logos and stuff like that. And it's been nice because we've been able to evolve and like, okay, we don't have to put out everything that everyone else is putting out, so we really had to, have our ups and downs with trying to find our niche and like what works for us, and just capitalizing off of that because I feel like our market is so saturated. Like there's so many, clothing brands out there and stuff. So like, right, exactly. So it's like what separates us from everybody else? Like the quality, him designing the logos, making sure, and we've had our
30 seconds.
We've had our trials with, the clothing. And then he went to Orlando a couple months ago and someone told him about what we're currently like the product we have on now. We tried them out, and it's like all organic cotton, and like
good too.
Yeah, exactly.
You start with them real crappy,
like Gildan, like Gildan, yeah. And that's what we did. We had it like I think winter or fall of 21. We had like these Gildan tie-dyed hoodies, and they were nice. But it was just like, okay, like the product could be better, That's why people buy.
I look at it now, I'm like, I wouldn't wear that.
Hey, that's how I be, bro.
I look at some of that stuff. I'm like, I seen somebody at the gym the other day. My friend, he was wearing these shorts that had Swavey on it. You couldn't even see the Swavey. I was like, he was still wearing them. He was still wearing them. I was like, that's let me wear them. I was like, let me get you a new pair of shorts. You making us look bad right now.
Yeah, so definitely had to just like, trial and error, with our product and stuff like that. But so from T's carpet cleaning. Now you have Hill and Company events. So like, I know that was the end goal from Levels Agency,
right.
To have the, events company and everything. So like, how did that go about? Because now you have, so is Levels Agent, so are you guys not as active with that?
We still, so it's more so of like a marketing, educational, music, entertainment platform now, opposed to us throwing concerts, because we learned so much within that business. To where we was able to, to start giving out information, coaching people, giving out education, offering internships at the university. So we do an internship with Levels Agency every summer, where we take about 5 to 10 junior or seniors from, it could be from any university, Slippery Rock, Edinburgh. We pretty much work with all of them, Point Park University, and they'll do an internship with us about business. So
she brought that up. I don't know, like 6-7 months ago, and said you guys did it, and then I think we were in the middle of talking to somebody at Wix, because at that time I forget what was going on, but I know she brought you guys up about you guys doing that, and at that time I was kind of hesitant, because there were so many people reaching. I was like, all right, well, what is somebody going to show us that we can't? Then I realized, I was like, you know what, that's just my mindset. I was like, I need to realize that I'm still trying to learn from other people, because we was already broke trying to figure it out. I was like, all right, so now we're gonna pay more people to figure this out. That might not work. And then I remembered that you guys were doing it. We always been talking about linking up with you guys, and definitely we'll talk about that after the video. But that's something that we're definitely interested in for sure. Because you guys are already profitable. That's what we're trying to get to. And that's like a lot of these podcasts, that's what we're trying to learn, and just exchange the value.
And there's secrets that you can't learn on YouTube and Google that we experienced firsthand. So the benefit of doing that is you kind of skip we lost thousands of dollars doing certain stuff the wrong way. You know what I mean? Just trying to correct our mistakes too. Yeah. So if you could pass that knowledge on to somebody, they can skip over losing all that money. You know what I mean? And do it the right way the first time. You can scale your business in about 6 months.
Especially with our biggest thing is that we've been doing taxes the last couple of years, and being owing all this money back, we're messing it up.
Now, granted, we're only 2 years. April was 2 years of us officially being online, so we're still very new, but it's still, I don't want to work my job forever.
I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah, I want to be able to manage a store, but then go to my hometown Erie and look at that store, or his hometown in Williamsport and see how that store is going, being able to just live our lives, but okay, now we have this business, what are we doing next? You guys started with Levels, and then you have the carpet cleaning, and now you're on the
Hill Company Event Center. So we do prop rentals, venue rentals, and event planning and coordination and stuff.
So is Levels Agency is your LLC. Are these under the LLC?
No,
or they're each their own
entities.
Yeah, they're each their own.
Okay.
Just for, I recommend everybody do their business that way, just for liability reasons. God forbids anything happen, but say somebody gets sued, or say Levels get sued, then that's not going to mess anything up for T's or Hill Company.
And I was telling her about that before, we have this, but what if something happens with this? I was like, we need to create more, own more LLCs, I spend, I just be thinking how much money I spend. I was like, I could get an LLC for $150, $200.
That's a one night out on town. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the more LLCs you have, the more money you have access to. You know what I mean? Funding, things like that, business credit, loans. If you guys go that way, whatever it is, you have more access to it.
So what way? Because I know Levels Agency started when you guys were in school. So what route did you take? Because like I said before off camera, I was talking to my dad about a storefront, and we had one, I think it was episode 14, we talked to my friend who's a hairdresser. She has a salon out in Lawrenceville. Her and her business partner went the business loan route, and I think they just paid that off end of last year or something. But you don't always have to take that route, but that's just what ended up working, for them. So what route did you guys take, because you started Levels so early?
Some of you guys took the money from the shows.
Hey, that's what it was at first, just retaining our earnings. After every show, all the money we made, we had workers and everything that wanted paid out and whatnot. And if they didn't want paid out, they could put their money back in the pot. Me and Elisha, we always put our money back into the pot. So we didn't spend anything from it. So from 2014 until we graduated in 2017 with our master's degree, we still had all that money saved up. So, you know, we put that money out, you know, for like investments and things like that. But now, you know, if we could do it over, we wouldn't use our hard-earned cash.
Use to take it out.
Yeah, right. We use other people's money, you know.
Credit.
Like credit,
that's
exactly.
And that's what we preach on now, too.
Yeah.
Back then, we were young. But now, when you get older, it's a thing called OPM, and we say other people's money. So you can always capitalize on that. And I always use the example.
Yeah.
If I got $10K in the bank, you know what I mean? And I can go, and my credit's good, I can go to the bank and get, you know, a line of credit for, let's just say 20 grand, you know what I mean? I could use their 20 grand and still keep my 10K. So now collectively I got 30, you know what I mean? And I'm always going to use my 10K. I need that for a rainy day, you know what I mean? But I can use their 20K and just make monthly payments on it or pay it off whenever I hit my business off and whatnot. So
yeah, so that was my thing, because I was telling him, like, hypothetically, you know, our goal is to narrow it down to, you know, 3 to 5 storefronts that we like, see what the price is, be able to, you know, fix up my business plan because it's, you know, a couple years old, and then present that to a bank.
Yeah.
So I was telling him, like, okay, if we get a $20,000, you know, line of credit or loan or whatever, we don't have to use that for the store and getting the store up and running. Like, I have family and he has friends and stuff that know how to do all that stuff, where we don't have to use that money. We can use that money for, you know, signage, marketing,
whatever.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna put y'all deep to another move too, and a lot of people don't know. When you got your LLC, it's just like having another person. You know what I mean? Because you got your personal credit score, you got your personal credit score. If you go get a loan, and your name is going to reflect on your credit score and vice versa. You know what I mean? The more LLCs you got, it's just like duplicating the person. You know what I mean? So let's say, for instance, Swavey LLC, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know, the LLC name is called. Y'all go the business route, and y'all can do it in less than 6 months. You can go get your personal credit together, make sure you got all your documents and everything perfectly good for your business, and go get business lines of credit. And when you swipe that, you get bigger amounts too. So let's say, for instance, personally, y'all might only get, let's just say hypothetically, y'all might only get like 10K, 15K on the personal end. On the business end, they're giving out 30K, 40K lines of credit. And the benefit is when you swipe it and you use it, it's not hitting your personal credit score. It's hitting your business credit score. You know what I mean? So the same thing with loans too. So at the same time, you can still go get that house you want, go get that car you want, and the money that you spend on your business end is not hitting your personal. So it's not really affecting you at all.
We have this, well, not me, but her, that's always saying, feeling like I spread myself too thin for certain businesses, or like, I'm like, all right, you know, like this isn't working, so I need to do this. You know, I'm like, oh, I need to own this, or I need to do this, or I need to start another brand, I need this. You know, do you guys ever feel like you guys are spreading yourself too thin with, you know, starting business after business, you know, do you guys ever feel like that?
At first, you know, me personally, I felt like that at first, you know, but that probably was just like the maturity, not being patient enough. Like right now, we're probably like, what, how many years into it? Like 7 or 8 years into business. So everything's kind of, you know, coming to fruition for us, you know what I mean? So I would say that's just from, you know, lack of patience. You know, from me personally, I used to feel that way.
Yeah, I used to definitely. I mean, I still feel that way because you know, I'm like you. I'm a creative. You know what I mean? So I got so many ideas rushing through my head. I might be laying in the middle of my bed in the middle of the night and see another business pop up, and I'm like, I gotta do that too. You know what I mean? Or I gotta get that. You know what I mean? How can we capitalize off of that? You know what I mean? But everything ain't for everybody. I say, you know what I mean? But I educate myself too. You know what I mean? Like even during this pandemic, we got certified in credit repair. We took so many courses, man.
Like I learned so much from YouTube too. You know what I mean? Like just stand up late at night watching YouTube for a couple hours until I doze off to sleep. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot during the pandemic from YouTube.
So just trying to.
I realized because with us, we obviously started out with a brand, but that wasn't like when I started a brand, I always wanted to venture off into sneakers. You know, but I also the biggest thing I really wanted us to get into was water. You know, getting into things that are essential for us. You know, and that's gonna help. You know, and you know, I even seen Boosie came out with his own water like not too long ago. And I was like, we always wanted to move, you know, in a direction. Yeah, the brand is where we started at, but like I've always considered Swavey a family. You know, like I never came from a close family, so like once I got into the business, you know, I realized that as I was growing, I wanted to build a family with this and build a community. So when we did open up the store, it wasn't just obviously going to be clothing. You know, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 different things that was kind of running the business, just like something like this.
Yeah, definitely.
But like one of my questions for you guys is, what do you guys think as either individuals or as a team is like one of your guys' biggest failures? You know, just
Challenges?
failures, challenges.
Not being patient.
Yeah.
Because before the center actually happened, we had 4 different venues, and just not being patient, we folded on them. We fumbled the ball. You know what I mean? So we could have been had a Helen Company event center or a place to host events, but just not being patient, not being young and patient, and we kind of fumbled the ball on that. You know what I mean? So, and I would say this happened at the right time because we were more educated on the process and older and more patient.
Yeah,
you know, we're making it happen more mature. So,
What do you think? Like, how do you guys kind of like overcome those challenges?
just keep going, bro.
Yeah, just
keep going, keep
keep
pushing.
going.
Like, man, it would be depressing sometimes. Like, you go get you a venue,
Yeah.
like we would be all the way to the end, and then just not being patient enough, it will fall through, or not doing our due diligence on our end, not educating ourselves on what everything needed done, it will fall through. So we're like, we just wasted another 3 months, and then we will quit. You know what I mean? Then we'd be like, all right, well, let's do a concert and pop back up another, you know, it might have been a year later. Let's try to attack it again, fell through. And then probably like 7 months ago, we had another one that kind of fell through that was a lot bigger than this, but it fell through. Just because we wasn't afforded the opportunity from the owner. But, you know, and then this one just fell in our lap. So we literally gave up again for another 3 or 4 months. We were like, all right, forget it. We about to just pack up, move to Atlanta or something.
Right. That's what I've been saying.
That's
Like,
literally
Atlanta.
that was our thought process come July when our lease is up. I was like, I want to go somewhere else. I want to see, you know, what else is out there and stuff. Just because I think, you know, Pittsburgh's not bad, but there's just so much more out there. There's so much more, you know, to tackle and adventures to have and stuff like that. And just so much more. Yeah, exactly.
Make the mistake now. If you go down there and you don't like it, you could come back.
Exactly.
I always try to tell her, like, you know, because where I'm from was like it's a little town, you know, and what I figure is like a lot of people run from their problems, you know, and when I got to Pittsburgh, you know, I was like, I'm gonna take off with this music. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna work harder than everybody else, and I'm gonna be on the scene, make sure everybody knows who I am. And then when things started to kind of like fold and then go my right direction, I started traveling. You know, I went to LA, Miami, you know, Vegas. I'm shooting videos everywhere. You know, I was like, then I came back to Pittsburgh, and I was sitting here, even with the brand, I was like, you know, we were talking like, where should we open the store? Did we go to Atlanta? Did we go here? Because it wasn't moving in that direction, you know, in Pittsburgh, where people wanted to spend money and where it was showing the same love. But the same with the music and the brand, I was like, if we can't do it here, what makes it think that we can do it anywhere else? You know, like we're in this small city, you know, like it's a smaller, bigger city, you know, whatever the case is, you know, but like it's a smaller city than LA and Atlanta and those other places, because once we venture out there, like those are some big hustlers out there. They already got into the bag, you know, figured it out, you know. So when we got here, I just realized that we can't run and go anywhere else. It was like we have to build this foundation here, and then once we do, we can do those other traveling, but we need to launch here. You know, I really believe in our brand, our community, our family, and also in the music, you know, and just, you know, just staying consistent.
For sure.
You know, but I think my biggest thing is just distractions, you know, and not just like, you know, just put my head down and just working nonstop to get to those places. Do you guys feel the same?
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
I was gonna say, we ain't been out to the club. I ain't been out to the club, bro. Like the last time we went to the club, we bought a section.
What was it?
And we left like within 10 minutes.
That's what we did. I did the show at 5 still. The moment I got off stage, we left.
We just left.
And it's more like,
yes, sir.
Like
It's just like this. For me, it's the same old stuff. You know, like I'm a homebody to begin with, so, you know, going out, I feel like, okay, what's the purpose? What's the occasion? I don't want to just spend a Saturday, Friday night out being around a bunch of people I don't want to see.
Be drunk, sloppy.
Yeah, and I don't like people like that anyway, so it's like...
we don't... and I realize this because with my biggest thing, like with the brand and the music, is like I have to be out.
Yeah,
I gotta be in everybody's face. I gotta be. I gotta make
and
sure.
that's why I'm like, okay.
But I realized, when I realized in this last couple of weeks is that I don't really like being there. Marlena, she just think I like being all the time, like, but I just realized I have to be in their face.
Marketing.
And that's how I met a lot of people.
Hey, relationship marketing, that's what it is. You know, just showing your face, you know what I mean? People get familiar with you.
I also realized that I could cut all that out, you know, and where I lacked at is that I thought, because I went to school for marketing, so I thought that like my marketing skills was lit. I was like, but now I realized like it's not lit. I was like, because we should be making $100,000, $200,000 a month. I was like, I see these young kids doing it all the time. I was like, why are we not doing it? And I thought I needed to be out. I was like, well, matter of fact, I could just stay home and figure out the market, because it's just Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh, we know in Pittsburgh, like everybody knows. A lot of people know Swavey and know my name in Pittsburgh, you know. But whatever, I remember I was on my way to Miami and I was coming down. I was like, nobody knows who Rob Jeezz is in this city. Nobody knows who Swavey is. I was like, because I'm not online. And that's where like I feel like
that's the biggest.
Gotta be out like
that's
that.
the biggest platform. You put money behind your situation online, and it's like everybody know you globally. Right. You know what I mean?
You're scared of going, bro. Like my example, like, you know, I spent all this. I spent so much money traveling, doing the music. I just went flat, bro. I was like, I could have bought properties. I could have already opened the store. Could have did those things. And now,
that's also the trial and error.
And linking up with guys like you know, it made me realize is that I don't need to be out, you know, and that I can just take that money and just consistently invest in myself, you know, and stay away, because there's a lot of bad energy, you know, like I met so many people and they fall off all the time, and I'm like, dang, you know, why did I lose so many friends, you know, trying to
work your way up, trying to do what you gotta do and do it the right way too. You know what I mean? Like even with us, I know that people probably think, cause we ain't been out, we ain't did concerts in a while. They probably like, oh yeah, the twins fell off, they ain't did that. Nah, man, what we got here? You know what I mean?
You guys are thinking bigger. You guys are thinking bigger. Right. You're not, you know, tunnel vision. You're thinking about the bigger picture. Right. Longevity also.
Longevity.
What's going to keep making you money consistently, month after month, year after year.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, because that's the goal.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
We could have went and bought some diamond chains, bust out the Rollie, whatever. You know what I mean? But you put that back into yourself. And in that way, if you want to have kids or your family or even your legacy, you know what I mean? Now, when
I was looking at Louis today. It wasn't even real Louis. It was fake Louis. I was in the salon today. I was about to get my hair done, and you know they had all the fake Louis. It was I think it was in Braddock, and I was like, I'm about to buy this big ass fake Louis Vuitton hat for like $75. I'm like, wait a difference. I was like, why am I buying this? I could just take that $75 and buy 40 stickers or something like that. I was like. And I almost got it, and I was like, why am I putting money into somebody else's brand that don't care about me in the first place, you know, when I could just, and I do it all the time, I'm like, getting away from it.
Right, yeah, I know what you mean.
But you see the look, I'm like, I need that. Yeah. It's gonna look good, but it's really, I watched them the other day, it was like, why did you decide to get the BMW? Was it because, you know, because of how you looked in it, or was it because of what people thought of you for having, or you know, like that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000.
And that also ties into, you know, people. So we've had a lot of people come up to us in the past couple of years about our prices and why things are priced the way they are. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, you have no problem spending a couple grand on a Louis bag, but you can't spend $60 on a hoodie.
It costs $15 to make them Louis bags.
That is a designer, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's when you realize who your true friends are, because that's designer.
Well, that was always his mindset, is that, you know, we can be designer, our own version of designer. And the crazy thing is that, you know,
but we went not that sure, but you know, just to get back on to what I was saying about the Louis stuff, you know, like they take $15 to make those, and then everybody wants it because of
everyone has it.
The class, like, oh, you know, everyone has it. You know, it's like it was made for. Louis Vuitton wasn't made for rich people. It was made for broke people. It was made for people that want to look rich. You know, and me and Ma were getting into all the time, like, you know, it's like maybe we shouldn't put a jacket up there for so much money.
I just look at it as what I can afford. Right. If I can afford to buy it, then, or if we can afford to buy it, then I think it's something that's worth it. Now, of course, you know, with our friends and family, you know, we give deals all the time because it's friends and family.
We ended up in the hole, like those 3 years, we ended up, we lost some. We didn't make, even to this day. I was like, I look back, I'm like. Even though she was talking to her parents, like, where's the money at that we did? He was like, because I gave out everything for free, you know, and we gave so many deals, and then people snap on it. I'm like, you don't realize what I had to do all this stuff, you know. I spent up,
and we don't even profit our profits. That goes right back into the business.
If you're lucky enough to even make a profit,
if you're lucky enough to make a profit,
because you already got to start off that way.
Look at Tesla. Tesla was like $400 million in the. You know, they didn't make nothing. Like,
Amazon too. Amazon.
I was even telling him, so at your guys' Ballers tournament, like last year, we did so well. This year, we didn't do very well. And it was like, you know, I was really disappointed.
We could have been walking around. We could have been doing so much. It wasn't the venue, because I was talking to some of my friends, like, no, there wasn't that many people. I was like, no, we sold out last year.
We
didn't
sold
do
a lot.
We did. I think that we just had expectations for how we were going into it, and that we didn't go out of our way.
We didn't meet our own.
We lost a lot of friends in the last year. They didn't show up. So it was just us. I was like, well, it was us. It wasn't. We didn't have expectations for us. I don't remember us even leaving the table. And I was like, that's us. And we should have been getting up and running around. And that's where we had that guitar. That's not the menu. That's nothing else. That's us. The brand is there, but if we're not trying to talk to people and reach out, they're not there for the brand. They're there for the basketball.
And that's again coming out of the comfort zone. Like I said, I don't.
That's true.
It takes a little bit to build up, to go talk to people and stuff like that, and where he can just go up to anybody and just start talking, and it's easy. But that's why, he makes it look easy. He makes it look easy.
Right. I used to be like you too, man. And then now I'm kind of like him. You know what I mean? I'm just like, what am I losing? You know what I mean? Either you don't want to talk to me, or we gonna do business. You know what I mean?
So my next question is, so all of your businesses, are you two just the owners?
Mm-hmm.
Just you two. So I have my lane, he has his lane within our business. Do you each have your own lane and something that you are you focus on this and only, and I focus on this, and if you're lacking, I'll pick up the slack and vice versa?
Yeah, we're pretty much on top of each other every day. We'll sit on the phone for hours working on our computers, doing things like that. But for Levels Agency, pretty much he was kind of like the financial guy. I was more like the outgoing, getting people to come to the event, selling tickets, always in the mall. Things like that, like how you are. And then for T's carpet cleaning, again, he was kind of more like the financial guy.
Yeah.
I had a little bit more experience cleaning carpets because I had worked for a carpet cleaning company before we brought T's down to Pittsburgh. So I had a little bit more season, when it came to that, things like that. And for Hill & Company, it's kind of like up in the air, 50-50, vice versa. We both could do whatever.
Yeah. That works though. I mean, that's like I said, delegating,
Yeah, definitely.
I like doing things.
It's hard, but you gotta do it.
It's super hard.
So for T's carpet clean, you guys have employees.
No, it's just me.
Just you two?
Yep.
Now, is that where you're trying to branch out to and get the employees?
Not really, because that's a little different. Because we're working in people's houses and we're working in businesses and things like that. So that
more
job,
liability.
It's more liability. So it kind of has to get done a certain way. It has to get done a perfect way, almost. It doesn't have to be perfect, but to us it does.
To your standard.
To our standard. So we don't want to compromise that. But for Levels Agency, we got people who promote with us and things like that. Our buddies, they've been with us since the beginning. So pretty much like that. Yeah.
And then for this, we got employees.
Yeah, we got employees for this too. Yeah.
But just going to people's cribs and even working on the large commercial jobs. Yeah. When you're dealing with all that heavy equipment, it's hard to. I mean, it's easy to mess up. You know what I mean, or break something with somebody else's. So if you're not really
and then it's on you.
Yeah,
it's on you.
And if you're not detail oriented, you know what I mean. And then most of our customers, they want to see us anyway.
Yeah,
we had people before, and they're just like, no, we want y'all to come because y'all do it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
they trust us.
When we have other people, they sleeping on the job, and I'm like, oh no,
What?
sleeping on the job? Because if you don't do it the right way, you can put a hole on somebody's wall super easy. Break the china,
scratch somebody's paint.
If you don't do the whole floors the right way, you mess them up. No, because that stuff really costs money when you do somebody else's stuff. Now, if somebody do it in yours, you got insurance and all that, and we got insurance too, but. We just can't. I can't afford to get sued on no terms.
But back to your question, we would like to get hands off with it eventually. Right. But right now, I really can't see that happening. Yeah, we're still building it. Yeah,
because we're only 4 years in.
Yeah, 4 years in with Tees.
Yeah, 4 years in with Tees, 8 years in with Levels, and it's only been 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months. But we got experience in wedding venues and things like that. We actually worked at a wedding venue. He worked at the Heinz History Center, and I walked at a venue out in Canonsburg, PA. So we got super experience with weddings and things like that. So
where's the direction? Where you guys headed to? As far as what's next after this? Are you guys just thinking about this right now? What's next?
Hospitality. I mean, we look at people like
Dave Grutman,
Michael Gardner,
Pharrell's getting into it too.
What type of guys you look up to?
Isn't he opening
hotels?
Yeah, got hotels.
Something in Atlantic City? I think. I heard that on I Am because he's like the king. he was just in the last podcast for I Am Athlete. He's like the king of Miami. He was talking about Pharrell and what he's doing in Atlantic City.
Noah Tepperberg, all them guys like that. People and these guys like. We'll throw them names out there, and y'all can look them up later. But a lot of people don't even mention them guys. But them is the guys that's the we all look at the celebrities, the athletes,
or the people we know,
the people that we know. But them is like them guys is they're real heavy hitters right here behind the scenes. So when you look up them, that's what we look at every day.
Because David Grootman, he started. Cause I was watching the podcast, and he started in the restaurant business.
As a bartender. I believe he was a bartender. I believe.
And then he moved into hospitality.
Hospitality.
With the clubs with Club Live.
That was dying down, and he presented them opportunity, and you live on Sunday. Everybody knows.
And that's what took off for him. Yeah, that's
he's
crazy.
in restaurants. Now he's collabing with Pharrell on hotels. And then you got like guys like Noah Tepperberg that own like the Hakkasan group and the Tao group. They just acquired. So Larry Morrow. Like they own like the biggest, even the entertainment across the world too. So. We look up the guys, so that's what we're really trying to take it. We're trying to get to a hospitality field. So I keep trying to convince him, like, bro, let's do a restaurant / lounge / bar next. You know what I mean?
I'm always telling her that stuff.
So we
trying to convince her, like, like I don't know.
It's not that I have a problem with learning new things. It's just it's a lot. So like, okay, if that was something we were going to get into now, okay. Full-time job, and then I got Swavey stuff, and then I got we want to open up a restaurant or something, like it's a lot. It's a little overwhelming, especially because it's just us two.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you guys are just you two,
right? And this is where the COVID really helped out too, because like you can't really get into delegation until you really you have the means, like the funds. I mean, some stuff is cheap when you delegate it, like answering the phones, setting up the automation. Online, all that stuff is cheap, you know what I mean? It's affordable. But like, we really wasn't, we was hands-on with this, but we really didn't do nothing in here, you know what I mean? So like, we scaled our credit profiles from like 30 grand to over $250,000 in 6 months during the COVID pandemic, just from taking courses, being online, watching YouTube. So now we was able to take all that money that we scaled in our business and put that into here, you know what I mean? So now we ain't got to be here, because when we first got it, like, well, bro, you want to paint the walls? You got time to paint no walls, you know what I mean? We want to do drop selling. You got time to do it, right? The bathrooms, them wasn't there. None of that was there. That was hollow. So they built the bathrooms, put that in there, paint it, refinish the floor, got the pipe and drape. This was completely different. You know what I mean? Like even that wasn't there. It was completely open.
I thought this came like this.
No, it wasn't. It didn't come like this. So we was able to scale. So and we took a downtime and we learned the other people's money side of the business, and we scaled our credit profiles and our funding and all that stuff up over that.
I think that's where we're at right now is just creating the credit profile. Because again. I know he don't play, but like that's my area. Like it was yours and stuff. So like. I'm not using my own money or my own, credit for this stuff. Like you said, each entity is like another person. And that's what we're trying to do right now is to, build up our, Swavey credit so that I can go to a bank and present them with a business plan. I won't have a problem getting a loan or a line of credit and, things like that. I want people to take us seriously, and even in the beginning, we didn't have all the support. A lot of people.
Just being consistent and just resilient, like even like me, and I learned this, and I had to not teach her, but like explain this to her. Like me jumping into the music, nobody never support me with the music, from day one. But a lot of those dudes that I started with, they're not there. I look back at everything I do. I just realized that the more consistent I stayed, that I would, and the more that I would outwork these other guys. That I would stay around longer. I always look at Drake, I realized all these other guys that fell off. Well, I know 100 survivors, 100 producers, and a lot of brands, and we're still here. We might not be where we want to be at. I might not be where I want to be with the music at, but like we're still fresh. I'm really getting where I want to get to.
Yeah, and we try to give ourselves that a little bit of leeway because most businesses don't take off right away, especially in the market that we're in.
Right.
Yeah, it can be very discouraging at times because, we both take this very seriously. And, even in the beginning, where, I didn't have a lot of support, which was surprising because I assumed that I would. And a lot of people assume that it was just his and I was just promoting it.
Right.
And I'm like, no, this is 50% mine.
Right.
I've put, you know, money into this, my time, my energy. Like, this isn't something I take lightly. So now it's just, you know, us staying consistent, keep being in people's faces, keep talking about it, keep getting it out there.
Yeah, we wasn't. I was talking about this last week. It took me 4 years again on that front of that Foxtail. In front of Foxtail, they wasn't letting me in there.
That's crazy.
I was one of the first underground, like, you know, they obviously let harder, you know, Fed in there, you know, like a lot of them blue checks come in there, but they wasn't letting me in there.
Right.
You know, like, and I remember when I wasn't doing shows and I realized I was just putting out music, I was like, nah, I gotta do these shows. I gotta do 100 small shows, 100 big shows.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
But I just remembered that I wasn't doing that. You know, like, you know, and even my videos, when I went to Vegas, I climbed the Shoes Mountain. I was one of the first dudes to do something like this, you know, but it just remember, like, I was in the back of the line trying to get in the 5-7, and they kept saying no and no and no for like 4 years until then. Now I'm rocking it out now.
Yeah.
You know?
And think about it too. Like even 4 years ago, Foxtail wasn't even letting people like us in there.
It wasn't.
Swear.
Yeah.
Or
The
how
South Side,
Flats
when it was
had-
Diesel.
the flats,
Yeah.
when it was D, they wasn't letting people like us in there.
Right.
Yeah.
The South Side,
Flat still ain't. This, you know, it's still racist.
right?
You know,
Even them other clubs wasn't letting people like us in there. Now they capitalize. They realize that they
Exactly.
need it, or they need it. The COVID pandemic changed so
It
much.
changed a lot.
Well, then
They
once-
realize that they need us.
And once Foxtail got poppin', Cosmo's right there.
Look at
Yeah.
Cosmo. Look at
You know?
Cosmo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Look at him.
And-
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And now there's other clubs that are, you know, opening up and trying to get the same type of thing. You know, they're trying to capitalize off of what's current.
Right.
Yep.
You know.
I just think that just to go back to, you know, like what I was talking about with FISA is I try to use that same perception with everything else, is just being resilient and being consistent.
sir.
You know, because
Definitely.
I get in my feelings sometimes with the brand.
It's
And
easy.
the music, I'm like, you know what, like I should have took off already. You know, like the brand should have took off. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I just realized I need to set back. You know, because me and Marlena talked before. I know a dude named Long Live Nano. You know, I met him through crypto. But I told when I got in, I knew that I wanted to meet this guy.
He's like the top of the top.
Top of the
like
top crypto, like
he
you know,
makes money off
lives in
of
the
people.
Trump Tower, 50th floor, like
Yeah, he
right
makes
next
money
to Tory
just.
Lanez, probably, you know, like them.
Yeah.
Like and I met him through crypto, but I always said, like, I wrote in my journal, like, you know what, when I go to Miami, this is where I'm going to be at.
Right.
And then when I got up there, I had like a list of like 20, 30 questions for him, and what he told me. When I was sitting there, it was like, you know, I don't know, it was like 9:30 at nighttime, you know, 50th floor, you know, and I'm just saying, I'm like, I ain't never even think I was gonna be in the Trump Tower, like where I'm from, like I came from being homeless, you know, from like a family didn't have a lot of money, so when I got up there, I was like, well, when things ain't going right, you know, just like how you guys were saying, you know, when those challenges happen, you know, like, and things ain't going in the right direction, how do you overcome those? And the same thing you guys said is just keeping that momentum and
Keeping it, man.
and just staying down.
Yeah, because a no today doesn't mean it's a no tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, if you know people don't want to mess with your brand today, you know, in a couple years, like you said, the door might open for you. And once you start making a name for yourself, things like that, you know, getting recognition, that's when you know the door might open. They'll work for you.
Consistent and just. I learned this from another job, you know, because I used to go in the job like, you know what, I already know it all. You know, like I already know that you can't teach me nothing. You know, and when we started doing these podcasts, I had to realize is that I don't know anything. You know, and that I need to reset and come into everything as beginner. You know, and just learn. You know, and learn from every single person that I meet. You know, and the more people I meet, that's why I tell her all the time, like, a lot of bridges have been burnt. You know. But at the same time, just because those bridges have been burnt, we learn from every individual I meet. Every time I meet somebody, you know, like I'm learning. I just met
and
Mark
that's-
like a couple weeks ago. You know, like
Yeah.
what,
Oh,
2
yeah,
months ago, 2 months
crazy.
ago.
Repping the brand.
Yeah.
Months ago,
Yeah.
like 2 months
Yeah.
ago.
And that, I think that's what that's my thing is like you burn a bridge, I'm like, and it closes me off from wanting to meet new people.
Right.
You know, because it's just like, okay, here you go, invest in your time and your energy. But you know, my dad's always told me ever since growing up, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's
Even to this day, he'll tell me that, you know, oh, I know this person, or, you know, he just said to me the other day on my birthday, he's like, I'm a part of the, you know, top 100 Black Men of America group. You know, I'll see what properties I can find in Erie and, you know, see if I can, you know, get you guys a store up there, you know, see what connections he has and stuff. Gave him a couple of our business cards and, you know, seeing where that takes us. But yeah, I mean, just staying consistent, staying positive. You know, I try to I try to keep reminding ourselves, both of us, that we're only 2 years in.
Yeah.
We're still very
Y'all
fresh.
right,
very
y'all
fresh.
right.
Yeah.
Y'all doing everything right. Y'all doing your taxes. Y'all doing everything right.
Yeah.
Y'all doing it right. Like, trust me, like most businesses don't even pop off until luckily year 5. You know what I
That's
mean?
what
People
they
say it's
say.
like 7-8 years.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 5.
I'm like, I talked to a brand, like when we first started, he was like, give it to like 10 years. I was like, I'm not waiting 10 years. I was like, I might not be here in 10 years.
Right.
I was like, I was like, if I had been here my whole life, then things would have maybe a little bit different if I would have started a brand. But I was like, we started this. I was like, and we was doing the photo shoots through COVID. I was knocking out like 40 girls in like, not 40 girls, but like, 40 photo shoots, in a week. Like I was knocking them out.
Typo.
But I was like, I was just being resilient. I was like, I don't want to wait. I was like, I'm okay with waiting and being patient. But even like with the music, I'm 8 years in. It was like, but I'm gonna work harder.
And that also helped with the marketing, like getting more people in Swavey, and because some people, now people want paid.
Right.
So okay, well here, take a hoodie.
Right.
It's like that was out of our pocket. Whatever we paid to get that hoodie made and stuff like that.
We lost if we gave a jacket out and a hoodie out, it was bad for me. Like it was bad for us also because we was already broke. Like
really, that's a good thing where you're first starting your business because you passing it out, people's getting familiar with it, they're seeing it and things like that. So sometimes that's what you really got to do.
That's what I call it. It's a business expense, but it's like it's a good one. Like you gotta take them to when you first starting something, you gotta take them to the chin.
We take them all the time. Like I would do photo shoots and I'd be like, can I get that jacket? I felt bad. I'm like,
and we used to do giveaways a lot, like 2021. Or even 2020 towards the end of that year, we started doing a lot of giveaways because let's build. You have to follow our page and like our posts and share it and stuff. Extra entry if you add it to your story and stuff. But then again, it was we're giving you a jacket, you're not even reposting us, you're not showing us that you got it, nothing like that. So let's try getting away from that aspect and bringing more coupons. It's 4th of July. Happy 40% off or whatever the case is. Black Friday. A certain percentage and stuff. So just trying to stay consistent, but just keeping that momentum and trying to come up with new ways to get people engaged. I tell him all the time, I think our biggest challenge within our business is marketing. We don't suck, but we could be doing so much more. But then again, marketing costs money. So if I'm paying, $60 for 35 stickers or, $60 for whatever the case is, well that's money I put towards that. If I order new business cards, that money. I order these, logos, that's more money. So it's like just making sure we're also smart with our spending as well.
You definitely got to be strategic and smart about it for sure. You know what I mean? Especially when you're pitching out bread and still working, even in 9 to 5. But I got an entrepreneurial mindset. And I always tell people, being an entrepreneur ain't just about owning a business because you could be an entrepreneur and still working 9 to 5. But for me now, it's more a mindset thing than it is clocking in or going to a job. Because even when I still had my 9 to 5 jobs, I still had my hustle on the side, you know what I mean? I was still working. Even on the clock, I was doing my thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes I was cut out from my 9 to 5 and go do my business stuff too, you know what I mean? So just keeping that spirit going, because when you start your 9 to 5, it's going to fund a business until you become profitable and just keeping things in the kitty.
I do it all the time. No matter what I'm working, I don't matter what I'm working on. I'm right here from driving.
It's good,
I got posted today. How many times I posted? She's like, you keep posting on Facebook. I was like, I don't care what I'm doing.
You gotta enjoy it. People used to block us all the time. When we first started our concerts, I would DM. We had a lot of followers. I would DM everybody and tell them to post this. You know what I mean? So if you would get on Twitter, you would see our concert through the whole time. Like that's everybody would post it. You know what I mean? And I would give them like a little $10 off coupon or something. But you would see the whole thing, and then I would go on people's pages like, damn, such and such just blocked me. So I'm like, and it wasn't like I was posting 1,000. I was retweeting them. You know what I mean? That's when Twitter was lit. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I feel lit.
That's
you know
what
what I
his
mean?
do. That's what he'll do. Whether it's on our Facebook or Instagram, he'll just DM everybody that follows us. Here, check out this coupon and send them our website.
Nobody ain't gonna pay attention.
Right. And even when COVID was happening, I was working from home. If I got an email that an order came through, because I was doing the inbound calls for PNC, I'd ox myself out real quick. I go in the back, go fulfill that. Okay, go back. I didn't care. Yeah, I'm like, I need to get this order done. RJ, can you come by the house real quick? Go send this out to the post office. They close at 5.
A lot of those jobs don't care about you. You know, we're getting more. This new generation that are opening businesses and becoming entrepreneurs. Those are the people that do care. You know, I'm seeing a lot of businesses that do actually care about their employees, but coming from a long list of jobs that just don't care. They don't care what happens to you.
Yeah, they don't.
Look at COVID, bro. Like, they just was laying people off.
Right?
Before, get your 9 to 5, you know what I mean? It's the only secure way you're going to be able to retire with funds, with a pension. As soon as COVID hit, boom. Like, I mean, nobody expected it. They laid everybody off. You know what I mean?
They fired me from working for auto. They just like, remember, they just let me go. They didn't bring me back. They
didn't bring him back. Nothing.
I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Like, I ain't like.
I was lucky. I still had PNC, so I could work from home. But I absolutely hated it.
I was in the field. I was out there doing all types of stuff.
Traveling. Oh, I'm going to Miami or I'm going to South Carolina, and I'm sitting here in the house working. I was pissed. I'm like, damn, how come I can't freaking, how come PNC can't just lay me off?
It's crazy because I got laid off before COVID even hit. So I was like. And that was my first job in like corporate America, and I was there probably for what,
that was like the first real job,
man, I was a senior coordinator. I ran a whole building and things like that.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Nah, and they just laid me off. They called me as soon as I clocked out. I was in my car. I get a call from Nevada because that's where the headquarters was. They tell me I'm laid off, and I'm like, damn. So I just went home. And I just start turning up on the business side. I'm like, I can't do that no more.
And I try to stay like with how I grew up. You know, like I tell her all the time, like I could easily get it another way. You know, and I can make the money way faster.
Right.
You know, and I got like my little brother, he doing life. I lost another brother. You know, like I've been through those things. You know, so I realized that I don't mind taking the hard route. You know, because I can't see my mom, losing of a son, to those type of situations. Because I see a lot of people, go the other route and think it's the easier route, to do those things. But at the same time,
make it longer.
Yeah, it's like, so I'll do this or I'll struggle to do this, but I can easily take another route as I just choose not to.
So what's the end goal? Like for us personally, I want to build an empire. And that's just, business after business after business, residual income after residual income, and just being able to essentially build something that I can one day pass down to my kids.
Definitely, yeah. You see like the Carnegie Mellons, you see the Fricks, you see the Warhols, all of that, you know what I mean?
The Westinghouses.
The Westinghouse.
Yeah.
Everybody's remembered, so like that's the end goal for us. Like that's why we called it Hill & Company Event Center, because it's just like turning a new leaf for our family. You know what I mean? So that's really the end goal. Like you said, Carnegie's, the Fricks, Warhol, Westinghouses, and then you got the Hills. You know what I mean? So like that's what it is for us. So like we don't have a specific lane, but we just we give and take, and we learn from all angles. So the next thing might be a restaurant, it might be a club, it might be I don't know, a shuttle business, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
But just like that legacy.
Yep. So we just trying to differentiate everything. You know what I mean? Probably real estate too. So we're about to hop in the
That's also something that him and I have discussed as well.
I want to
getting into real estate.
Bad.
Yeah.
Man, now or never.
It's popular.
I was taking a course. I paid so much for the course, bro.
See, okay, so and I also
I pay for the whole course. Just
listen,
to take it.
I know.
I ain't good at that stuff, so I just.
Yeah, I know. It would be me getting.
I'll just give up.
Yeah, let me just go back to school. Yeah, let me go back to
once
study.
you get the hang of it, like it's easy once you get it.
But no, I was telling him that you guys, are in the Airbnb business too, and like he was wanting to, get into that, and we were thinking, okay, let's, because lease is up in July. Okay, let's move somewhere, and then Airbnb where we were currently at. I was against it just because if I was looking for a place, I wouldn't want the place that we are currently at. It's not bad. I just like. You see so many Airbnbs that are nicer, or they have a certain criteria, and I'm thinking about myself. What am I gonna want to stay in? Things like that. But
that's when you take those locations and you deck it.
Well, we live in Mount Washington, so it's close to everything.
Right, central.
Exactly.
What it is in Mount Washington, you take that crib, you deck it out.
Oh man,
they gonna take it.
And on top of that too, there's a market for everything. You got your
people who want to stay in luxury.
You got your
middle class people that just want a little nice Hilton, Marriott. You
got
your people that just need a night to stay.
Exactly.
They don't want to be in the hotel. I'm surprised hotels are still up.
Yeah, right.
They basically ain't, man. I'm going to every hotel I stayed in since COVID been super filthy, and they be nice hotels too. I be like, I don't want to stay here.
They can't have family workers.
So not to keep prolonging this, but like, okay, how did you get into the Airbnb? Because we did it. I set up the profile, did all that, took the pictures. Now, of course, we're not actively using it at the moment, but like, how was that for you? Like, did you guys just rent a place or buy a property and then like that's what your Airbnb?
We just leased it. Yeah, we just pretty much leased it, and we didn't have no background knowledge on it or anything. We just jumped right into it. We went on apartments.com and Zillow, looked up some nice spots. Then we went to go tour them. And then after that, we pick one we liked. And,
so did you
Airbnb
tell?
them, you don't rent them?
No, they're
just Airbnb. Yeah.
Now,
so are you renting it?
Say that again.
How long until they started hitting?
ASAP.
Yeah, ASAP. Yeah.
So my question is,
ASAP.
Yeah.
are you like renting it in your name and then just Airbnb-ing it?
Yep.
So what I would do, I would recommend doing it in your business name.
Yeah.
So you're going to look for a corporate leasing route.
Yeah.
So you want to ask if
or whichever way you want to do it,
No, I mean that makes sense though. Doing it in your business.
Think about that.
just make sure you're transparent with either the who. I mean, whenever you go in, you don't have to
Because
say
some people don't.
Yeah.
Like, is
Well,
that
it's not a contract. We'd be like,
right.
Yeah.
So, like you don't got to go in and say, I want an Airbnb. Do you guys allow it? The language that you're going to use is like a corporate leasing. You know what I mean? And you also there's different ways you feel your way around an apartment. Some places might already do Airbnb, so you're like, all right, if they do it already, mine ain't gonna bother neither. You know what I mean?
Right.
But also fill out the leasing agent,
The tenants.
the property manager, the tenants.
Yes.
You have to fill all that out.
and it stays. But when did you guys open? They started doing the Airbnbs.
We did it in
September.
and then we didn't move in until I want to say November, I believe.
How many do you guys have?
No, it was
We only got
September.
one
October. No,
currently.
it was. We did it in September and moved in October, I believe.
Yep.
And you guys are profitable out there, Airbnbs?
And that was slow season too.
It was
That was slow
profitable
season.
right off the back.
Right off the back.
So we was bringing in
With our first month, we made like $1,800 profit.
$1,800 profit. Yep.
And ours was a high unit. It was a penthouse. Rent was around $1,700, things like that.
Where's the location at?
Oakland, right in on Fifth Avenue.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh damn, right there.
Yeah. So and Mount Washington's the only other, really another popular area that you could, what I mean, it's super popular. So you got your anywhere closer to town. So when you get the NCAA tournaments, you got people coming in for that. We was right next to PPG Paints, probably 2 blocks away. So people was booking saying they coming to basketball, Justin Bieber, Penguins games.
That's what I was saying.
Well,
Because I just put my whip up on Toro.
Oh, that's another one
Listen,
too,
so
bro.
I put my whip right up there. I said, "Listen, I'm
It
gonna
was just
figure
a
this
trial.
out."
Nah,
It was just a
yeah.
trial, and then
It
he
took me
and
the
then
whole
he
week. I ain't
yeah,
got
he's
my car
like,
right
wait, they just booked my car, and I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, some lady just booked my car for a couple days, and I'm like, well, like, what's happening? Like, okay, so
Get that paid.
yeah, so
Toros too, man. That's a nice stream of passive income
And
too.
it's passive, bro. So you give it out. You know what I mean. Make sure you put a tracker on it. You know what I mean. You could get you a tracker for like $10
I
a
don't know
month.
where she
You
at.
know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it all day. Like, I don't know where my car is at.
Go to T-Mobile, we'll get you a tracker. It's like $10 a month. You know what I mean. And then get the car insurance that covers it. Boom, you're good to go. And then you just, you know what I mean, just like how you doing now. Boom, it's gonna pay your note and you're gonna make more bread.
I swear, that's exactly what he said.
Put it up, and then like 2
couple
days
days
it
later,
hit.
yeah.
And then I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm looking through my phone. I was like, I don't know. I gotta make all these
right, like
instructions.
we're trying to like
Oh, yeah.
we're trying to like okay, like the pickup instructions,
Oh,
like
yeah,
drop
yeah,
off
yeah.
instructions. He's like, here, type this out, like here, do this, and I'm like, okay, like I'm just and then pricing it, but like I mean his car is a 2019 Jeep.
Oh,
Compass,
yeah, they got
has
the
the
sunroof,
sunroof
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
They got the
like,
sunroof?
Nice little
Yeah.
light.
Oh, you're gonna get a hit on there, bro.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like the whole, you can see
Oh
the
yeah.
little.
Oh,
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure you get a tracker on that, bro.
Facts.
Make
Yeah.
sure.
I should have, but
They gonna
like
take it off
she had like
right.
a 5-star, and I was like,
Yeah, she had
Yeah,
really
she's
good.
cool, yeah.
she
That's
had
cool
really
with
good
5 stars,
ratings and
right.
reviews.
Oh no, I would have looked at it. If I'd have seen somebody like,
Oh yeah.
I'd have quit the judge. So I'd be like, they said don't judge, but I'd have been
We
quick.
got to.
Yeah, we first came across Toro in May of last year. We went to Fort Lauderdale for my birthday, and we were like, okay, let's go to Miami. It's only freaking 50 minutes an hour away. And we found this Mustang convertible, drop top, red car, and we were like, it was I think $150. That's it. And I'm like, shh.
Just
Okay,
trying
Uber
new
to go
things
pick
out.
it up,
Yeah,
and
That's the easiest.
I gotta get with us, man. I mean,
For
we
real.
got a level up toast coming up on June 3rd.
I saw that.
If y'all get in that room, I guarantee y'all gonna make some money. Like I guarantee, because everybody, we had about 40, 50 entrepreneurs there last year. My guy, I got from he painted all this. My homie, he's doing the outside of it.
Yeah.
My other guys in real estate, we all got money together last year.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? So like, if you get in that room, I promise you, somebody's going.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And it's like a bossed up thing, you know what I mean? So you ain't got to worry about the club. You ain't got to worry about nobody fighting. It's going to be drinks, food, you know what I mean? And
like
good
fancy,
vibes, bro.
yeah.
Good. And you can wear your Swavey joint, you know what I mean? You ain't got to come all dressed up or nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like, I tell her right now, like, even with whatever vendor is, I don't care if we had $1 million or not, we gonna get it, because what we try to do is, I try to tell us, like, I don't pass up not one opportunity. If you hit me about something, I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah,
like,
so we're doing May 15th. Sky Bar's having a swimsuit fashion show.
That's
So
the first
that's
one,
not our
Was
lane.
that Sunday?
Yeah, it's a Sunday. That's not our lane. But
swimsuits and all that, we're good.
he was like, okay, we're doing this, and I'm like, okay, well, send me the stuff.
Yeah.
And he sent me all the information. He's like, okay, well, this is your area, so do what you got to do. I'm like, okay, let me find the swimsuits. Let me, create a flyer, see if we can get some models and everything.
It's gonna be
Yeah. So
it's
like we're, like everything's.
Is that runway,
May 15th, your time?
Yeah.
And they gonna walk over the pool, huh?
They walk
Yeah,
over,
it's I think 4 or 4:30. It's
See, I like going to that, man, and especially if I'm supporting friends, like,
Yeah.
I mean, that beats going out, and I mean going to the club, and
different.
everybody, it's
And it's a
different, you know what I
Sunday.
mean? And it's a Sunday too.
It's
you
like,
know?
and I think because when I see stuff like that, I was like, I don't really see no runways in Pittsburgh. So I was like, somebody bringing
I
that
think
to
it's
the
their
table.
first annual.
I was like, yo, this is
That's gonna be
something we
lit.
want to get into because I want to get into that way.
It's not our area, but that don't mean that it can't be our area.
Right.
Like so. No, we don't sell swimsuits, but okay, if these work, I
Might
can.
open up the
Shoot,
door,
yeah, like I
That's
have
gonna
no
open the
problem
door for
doing
like
that.
fast.
Exactly.
And even with your hoodies too.
Exactly,
right?
and another part of like the hoodies and the sweats and like the t-shirt we have and the shorts too. I said, okay, RJ, one of the models can wear a bathing suit top and wear the shorts if they want to.
Right.
They're gonna have to be in a little. Other girls gonna be in there. We gonna make it sexy.
Hell yeah, for sure. We're gonna make it Swavey.
And we bring a culture there because
yeah.
we ain't gonna but some other brand.
Yeah, we're gonna bring we're gonna bring the diversity, to say it like that. But
May
then
15th, I gotta look at y'all. I gotta look at the profile.
yeah,
and check
and
it
then
out. I might pop
May
out to that.
21st we have a friend of mine saw us with these online from your guys' event, and she has a Just for Kicks sneaker event in Erie on the 21st. So I was like, okay, how much is it? What do we got to do? So now that'll be our first vendor event in Erie. So that's even big for us there. I'm gonna have my family and stuff come out for that, and that's getting our name out there. Because I don't, my last name is very well known in Erie, but it's for my dad. So now it's like, okay, let me get my name, let me get my business out there. See what we can do there. And then we're doing Isaiah and Neely's basketball tournament in June 25th. We did that last year. The basketball tournament. It's like that kid. Yeah, it was like outdoor event last year where like it's.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, well we're doing it. Yeah, June 25th. Yeah, so he reached out to me last month and asked if we wanted to do it, and I'm like, yeah, and we did really good there. With that crowd.
But you guys, what I like that you guys say, because you guys say you're like 8 years in.
Yeah, we're about 8 years in the business, literally like nose deep into it.
So that makes me feel a little bit better about us, because we only 2 years. I was like, let's see where we could be at in 8 years.
Yeah,
right. Like we down like. Sometimes I'll be like, all right, well, we should surpass. Just the other day I was talking to him, I was like, yo, we should make $100,000 a month right now. This is what we need to do. I see these other businesses, but I have my biggest thing, even with their music, because sometimes I see some of these artists and they're doing these crazy shows, and I'm like, yo, why am I not doing these shows? And then I try to make sure that I'm not worried about what other people else are going on and just worry about me.
And you have your own.
But then I realize that
it draws
that's
attention.
what they want.
Yeah,
I jump in front of a Tesla or whatever, I jump inside, I don't even like ski masks. I put it on or whatever, and boom, everybody in my
they
face.
drawn to it. You're like, oh, okay, yep.
And I realized I learned from a lot of other artists, a lot of other brands, I try to separate the music and the brand because the music is completely different than the brand. What I have to do for the music, is completely different, and I have to separate. But I know that the way I move, if people are still looking at my name, and if I do something with that, it's gonna make my brand look bad.
They both do help each other out. Like the brand is able to be pushed through his music, and his music can be pushed
Screaming Swavey on
through
every
the
single
brand.
song.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Manny did that. We was out at the show at
when you performing too.
at Club Samia, and I remember I watched the video the other day, and Manny was like 570 Swavey, and I didn't remember he did that.
yeah, because that's like his
It's a catchy.
tagline in his.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 570 is where he's from, and then Swavey. But yeah, I mean, we're just trying to capitalize off of what we're doing. But again, like I said, our biggest area is marketing. That's the biggest area that we struggle. I think we have the marketing will help us with our customer base, and getting it out there. But we have a good customer base in here in Pittsburgh. Our quality is good. I think when people learn about why it's there and how it started and everything, that just adds to it.
Pittsburgh's on the rise.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Pittsburgh's
telling you,
bro.
definitely. Yeah.
And that's why I came here. When I first left Indiana,
We went to IUP.
I was gonna come to
right.
Pittsburgh.
Right,
We have this debate all the time.
No, I can't stand IUP. Every time I've been there, it's been trash.
Hey,
Every
I ain't gonna lie, me
time.
too. Yeah.
We had some great times.
No,
Nah, bro.
IU Patties was
IUP.
IU Patties was trash. Every time I've
It
gone,
was trash. It was overrated, yo.
Swear it
Like
was.
Slippery Rock was just way better.
It
What year did you go
It
there?
depends
What year?
what time.
2017.
2014, 2017.
Yeah,
Okay, so
same
that
as
was
me.
like okay, cool. So
No, it was trash.
it was weaker. By the time I would say
Slippery Rock was
2015,
popping.
maybe 2012, 2013, maybe it was like
Yeah,
last time I had a great time.
So I used to tell him like the Ivy, the Light, the Grove. The first year at the
IUP?
Grove when we lived there.
Oh yeah, that
'Cause
joint
you
was
guys-
crazy.
That's how we got. That's how
Yeah.
we got lit because we did a homecoming in 2013, the IUP versus Slippery Rock, and Slippery Rock beat on my homecoming. You know what I mean? And then
After party was
I
crazy.
remember.
Yeah, it was.
Y'all must have did that underground.
Yeah, Slippery Rock was. I remember.
Oh
it like
my
it was
God, bro,
yesterday.
it was lit,
Slippery
bro.
So the
Rock
ride's
was
definitely
fun.
jumping. I had fun. I remember it. I went up there one night.
Yeah,
That's all I remember is that one night. That's all I needed. I knew it was wild.
Yeah.
The heights was crazy.
Ain't nothing like IUP.
Yeah,
though.
the Grove.
I like old IUP.
Oh,
yeah, the Grove. The first year at the Grove, it was lit.
Oh,
You couldn't even get in the
couldn't
door.
get in.
That gate.
it
Yeah.
was long as heck.
Heck
Heck
Backed
yeah,
up.
all
That
those
security.
parties at the beginning,
Yeah, it
right
was
when you
crazy.
drive in.
People
Yeah.
jumping off the roofs and stuff like it's crazy.
Yo, dude,
Yeah.
did jump off the roof.
Yeah, he got messed up too.
Them days.
Yeah, that was fun. But then, it's just I kind of wish you guys. I feel like you guys did it so, you really thought about it and really capitalized off it when you were in school.
Yeah.
Really putting your head down and like getting shit done.
Mm-hmm.
And like you just, but like you also knew what you guys wanted to do. Like
Yeah.
you knew there was a bigger picture behind just like working a 9 to 5. And I kind of wish I would have had that mindset.
There's a lot of
like,
people thinking like that. They just think
No.
my whole. It was just turn up. I ain't thinking
Yeah,
about
I mean,
that.
Yeah.
that's
Let's
our
turn up.
friend group, Marissa, Rachel, Tal, like that was all we
Lit.
cared about,
Lit, yeah, lit.
like, and
Yeah.
Mallory and Marissa, freaking crazy,
Lit,
so that's
yeah.
all they cared about was
Super
just
lit.
going
Super
out
lit.
and, but I wish I would have had that mindset, like putting my head in my books and, cause I feel like, at least for me, the business classes were so hard. I thought they were. Like, I'm a hands-on learner. It's really hard to just sit there and listen to a teacher and
Professor
like,
talk.
yeah, and just talk and like, okay, now I have to retain the information and like put it into paper, but I feel like you guys, I'm not surprised, but like I'm really taken back by that because you guys really capitalized off your time
Yeah.
there.
Right, so we had fun, and then it was the business side of it, you know what I mean? And when
Yeah.
you're young, because like a lot of stuff don't pop off until you in your 30s, like,
Yeah.
and that'd be another thing on perception. Like we look at all these people on the gram and we think they're in their 20s. They in their 30s.
Yeah,
they going to their 40s. Like all the celebrity, all of them are old. You know what I mean? There's
My
very
dad
few
didn't
that are in their 20s.
start
you know what
his
I mean?
business until he was in his 40s.
Right,
Right.
and those like your 30s is the new 20s, I say, because
Yeah,
those
it's
are your glory years. Those are the years you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? That's when you do like your flexing and you're like, all right, I'm here now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
the
feel
20s
like-
is the building years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel like, I see a lot of people that I know now that are, it's the same thing every weekend, and I'm just like, I don't want to keep doing that. And then, okay, once I hit 30, now I gotta stop doing that and like focus on the business. Like I can focus on the business right now,
Right.
and get ahead of everybody else.
And then when you're in your 30s, you can do the same thing that everybody was doing in their 20s, but then you could do it until you pass away.
Yeah, if I would have
Exactly.
picked it up, if I would have,
Yeah,
I think about the time, if I was
your
21 and I would
20s,
have had the
yeah.
mindset I had now, I'd have been gone.
Nah,
It'd be
for
scary.
real, we
I
say
ain't
that all
started
the
thinking like
time.
8 years. I was just, it was turning up.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I did was turn
And
up.
that's funny because that's how we met. We met at Fox Hill.
Oh, there
yeah.
you go.
So to wrap it up, because we already talked about like, you know, what we have going on and everything. So like, what is one piece of advice, whether for us or, you know, the other entrepreneurs and business owners watching, that you would give? You know, you guys have, you know, 8 years of experience.
I would just say, you know, just keep your head down, stay focused, stay locked in. Don't pay attention to what's going on around you, because that could be a distraction and it could be discouraging. Mm-hmm. At the same time, it could be motivating to a lot of other people, but, you know, just stay locked in and believe in yourself. If nobody's supporting you, just keep on going, because at the end of the day, you know, results are going to speak for themselves. And in 10 years from now, you know, that's when it's going to start paying off and you're going to start seeing it and everything's going to come to light and everything's going to come to fruition. So just plant your seeds now, do what you got to do, and water your seeds, and, you know, sooner or later you're going to have a full-grown plant. You know, you're going to have generational wealth, different things like that, stuff to pass down to your kids and stuff to be remembered by.
Yep. I would say trust your struggle. It's one of the things that I got tattooed on me. He got a tattooed on him, but when I was in college, that's one of the things that it's always going to happen. You know what I mean? It's one of the only things in your life that's going to remain no matter what age you are. You know, you always got, you know, that struggle. And there's going to be times you got your high times and you got your low times. You're going to lose friends, families, loved ones, whoever it is. But the only thing that's going to remain throughout your entire life is that struggle moment. So the more that you feel comfortable in that struggle, the better off you'll be in your life. So that's why I say, you know, you just trust your struggle. You know what I mean? Stick it out, thug it out, do what you got to do to get through it. Because once you can feel comfortable within that struggle, ain't nothing going to phase you. You know what I mean? When it come again, you like, all right, welcome. You know, let's make it happen. Let's get through it and let's bounce back.
Or I've been through the worst and things like that. And just being able to adapt to whatever, because the only thing that's constant too is change. You know, everything's changing. You see how it was with the COVID. You know, businesses are going under, they're going bankrupt, people's losing their businesses and things like that. So just being able to adapt and staying ahead of the curve and not get lost in the wave.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. Episode 16 of our Swavey Podcast. So this weekend we'll be in Philadelphia celebrating my birthday. So we'll be there. So we're going to have a vlog and everything coming to you this weekend.
Birthday.
So yeah,
The birthday's already passed. She got 3 other birthdays.
May's the whole birthday month, so you know we're gonna take every opportunity we can. So we'll be back with episode 17, documenting our time in Philly. We have a lot of events coming up, like we said, so I'll post all of those in the description. Elisha and Elijah, thank you so much for joining us. I'll put all of their businesses and their information in our description as well, so you guys can get with them. They're the ones you want to talk to about entrepreneurship. They have a lot of things going and they're not done. Yep. So stay tuned, stay locked in, keep it Swavey, and you'll be hearing from us.
Yep.
Hit that subscribe button too.
Right, exactly.